has around a 2.7% profit margin. If you were to increase the corporate tax rate by 7%, Walmart goes out of business. Grown adults not understanding this concept is concerning.
Now, admittedly, I know more about law than I know about corporate finance, but since he called into question adults, and I'm an adult, and it looks like he's an adult too, let me try to make some sense of this. Number one, corporate tax rate is applied to net profit, not to revenue. Walmart's 2.7% profit margin refers to net profit margin, which is the margin that you're left after you've taken out all other expenses. That corporate tax rate that you're talking about, it applies to that 2.7%. So there's plenty of money left after you pay that 7%. Number two, the federal corporate tax rate is currently at 21% in the United States. Now, my assumption is that under this tax rate, Walmart is still running a profitable business. Now, remember, that extra 7% is paid on the 2.7% net profit after Walmart has paid all other expenses, which means that 7% is a very small part of that. Number three, you might not know this, but Walmart is a huge organization that runs on very, very high volumes, which means that even the smallest of optimizations in its processes can offset even a higher tax increase than 7%. So to recap, that extra 7% is applied to net profit, not revenue. That 7% represents a really small part that is paid after all the other expenses have been paid. And number three, economies of scale are such that Walmart can probably offset them in about a quarter. Now, all this, if I'm not making a mistake, because as I said, I know the law better than I know corporate finance. But one thing I find absolutely incredible, and that is the fact that somebody who clearly, just like me, doesn't have the means of a corporation like Walmart, because you're shooting a video in your own car, is being convinced by the system to carry the flag of the multi-billion-dollar corporation so that they don't get to pay any more taxes, and in the meantime, you have to decide whether to buy bread or buy insulin. Well done.
So, what did we see happen? What the hell is that on my shirt? Hey, gads, what is that? What did we just see happen there? We saw a gentleman, the first gentleman who made the video in his car, see two numbers. 2.7%, 7%, realize one number is higher than the other number, and put the equation together in their head that if we raise taxes on Walmart, Walmart would go out of business. That is quite possibly the most simplistic way of looking at things I've ever seen in my entire life, and a complete and utter misunderstanding of how any of this shit actually works, as was laid out by the gentleman who responded to him. They are, once again, the least informed voting base in American history.